Hello, check, hello.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Good morning and a very warm welcome. Can someone check the mic? Hello. I think. Hello. Yeah, better. Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Forbes Marshall. We are all here today for the launch of our latest innovation, the Forbes Marshall MuPT, the Multi-Utility Process Trap. Today's event is a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and a shared vision with our customers to shape a future where energy and process efficiency drive sustainable progress. Innovation is at the heart of everything we do. To share his thoughts on how research and development continue to drive innovation and differentiation at Forbes Marshall, please join me in welcoming our co-chairman, Dr. Naushad Forbes.
Thank you, Sapna. Um, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this launch of the MuPT. I'll make a few comments about how important we believe innovation to be and how important we believe R&D to be to our future as an organization. I'll start with a broader overall context, if you like, for the country and then place where we are as a company in that. I have a favorite number, and that favorite number in these talks about R&D is the number 5. And the number 5 comes from the fact that Indian industry broadly invests about 0.3% of GDP in in-house R&D. The world average is 1.5%. Chinese industry invests about 1.7, 1.8% of GDP in in-house R&D. So we need to scale our investments in in-house R&D in Indian industry more broadly by a factor of 5. So that's the favorite number, if you like. If you compare things at the industry level, the engineering industry that we belong to, the world's leading firms in the engineering industry invest between 2 and 4% of turnover in in-house R&D. Indian industry, the Indian engineering industry, invests a little under 1% in in-house R&D. I'm quite happy to say that for 25 years now, as a company, we've invested in that world range of 2 to 4% of turnover in in-house R&D. It doesn't happen overnight. When we first started investing in our own proprietary technology and product development, starting 35 years ago, the first few years saw almost nothing come out. And as we worked on, you have to work on a product pipeline. And as you work on developing more and more product concepts, things that you can take worldwide and sell worldwide, you start gradually seeing a regular flow of output. In our case, it took us the better part of 5 years. and my colleague Datta, who's sitting here, was very much an inherent part of that story 35 years ago when we started building this pipeline of innovative products. Yeah, I know, it's a reflection of age for us both, Datta. So we started building this range of innovative products that gradually started flowing out from R&D. It doesn't end at any point in time. We've developed innovative products at different points in time. The twin orifice float trap, the multi-orifice pressure part pumps, the flash jet pump, a range of different products that have been very innovative over the years. The floating furnace boilers, the water analyzers that we now provide for multi-parameter sensing. There are a range of products that we've developed, and each time we develop them, we realize that there's more that we still have to work on and do, because we have a goal that a third of our turnover should come from products that we've launched in the last 3 to 5 years. And that is a way of ensuring that we're constantly, as an organization, innovating enough. It's not enough to innovate. We have to innovate with product ranges that mean something to our customers, that deliver benefits to our customers that are different and better than anything that's gone before. So let me lastly just make a comment about the MuPT, the product that we're launching today. We've been working on the MuPT for some time. I would say for about 4 years, actually, 4.5 years, from when the first prototype and concept and so on was demonstrated by a very keen R&D engineer on some test rigs just down here, right in the middle of COVID. That's how I am dating it, because I remember us going and seeing it, all of us with masks on at the time. And from that initial iteration to having a robust product that works takes a lot of work, as I'm sure everyone in R&D and the division will testify to. And it takes iterations, but you have to keep working at it, and you have to keep working at the particular product to get it to work in the way in which you actually intend. And it has to work reliably each time and deliver the benefits that you seek. So R&D requires patience. It requires ideas that we know, but it requires patience, and it requires consistency of purpose and consistency of investment. And I really compliment the R&D team for having that patience and that consistency of focus and effort, and their work together with the division to bring about this constant flow of innovative products. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you particularly to our customers for being with us. We really, the reason we innovate is you. The reason we innovate is to come up with something that does a better job for your plant. And if it does that better job, and if it delivers those benefits, then the innovation is successful. That's the only metric of success, really, that matters. And thank you also to all our field engineers. There's this large sea of white sitting at the back, for being here too, because it's your understanding of what customers need that is a constant feed into what we go away and develop. So thank you for being here. Look forward to the launch of the product, and thanks for this nice function.
Thank you, Nashan. At Forbes Marshall, we are constantly innovating to enable our customers achieve benchmark performance. Understanding gaps and challenges has always been our first step towards creating meaningful solutions. I invite Mr. Satyadev Purohit, co-COO Forbes Marshall, to share his insights on our approach to the pharmaceutical and chemical industry, following which Mr. Siddharth Jain, Principal Leads Team Systems, will take us through the vision behind MuPT.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, Naushad. And a warm welcome to all of you for joining us today for this very nice program. I think it's quite unique in the sense it's industry. Pharma and chemical is an industry which is very important for the country. I think all the attributes that Naushad spoke of innovation and leadership are displayed by this industry. And this coming together of Forbes Marshall and pharma and chemical industry together is really preparing ourselves for playing a bigger role, not only in the domestic, but in the world arena. I think pharma and chemical industry is one industry that's been growing year on year consistently for last many years. And even in our own business, we see it become the largest industry segment for contributing to our business today. I think in Forbes Marshall, we look at very specific areas of operation, but as Sapna mentioned just now, the starting point is always to look at what are the problem areas, challenges and gaps in the operations of the plants that we need to jointly address with the plants. So if you look at steam and water as utilities, they are very essential for the pharmaceutical and chemical industry. And both these utilities contribute to the priorities of productivity, quality, cost of energy and utilities, as well as have many regulatory and compliance issues associated with them. And our endeavor at Forbes Marshall has been to work with the industry, specifically integrating these utilities of steam and water with the process parameters that are required to be delivered as a result of using them and impact all the priorities of the plant. And over the years, what we have tried to do is innovate to bridge the gaps in a better and a more robust manner year on year on year. Just to take Naushad's discussion forward, there have been many innovations that we have made, some specifically for this industry, some broadly for the process industry segments. And I will just name a few. We started off with the boiler house and we saw steam to fuel ratio a big problem in pharmaceutical and chemical industry given the load and the loading pattern on the boilers. There is a constant base load, but the batch type processes indicate that the variable loads are much higher. So sizing the boiler correctly and ensuring optimum efficiency, which delivers you the cost of steam, becomes a problem. And I think FEMAX was a product that we launched with the specific intention of understanding what losses are happening and how one can optimize the boiler operations to achieve the best results. Many products in distribution, but I will highlight one concept that came specifically from pharmaceutical and chemical industry, which was utility monitoring. Much of the industry is divided into different segments. Within the plant, you have many areas which are limited by battery limits. And for energy consumption and costing, you need to monitor how much energy and each of the utilities is being consumed in each section. So I think we were the first to come up with utility monitoring at the section and the battery levels. I'm talking, like Naushad mentioned, I'm talking about a journey of 35 years. So these things have happened in steps, and many of the things will now appear to be very obvious because over the time they have got adapted by every industry. If you come to the process side, again, we have done many things, starting with the I'll take a specific equipment example of SRU within and the multiple effect evaporators that we have. And then the condensate recovery itself there was always this fear of contamination and how does one recover the condensate without impacting the boiler performance. So over the years, a host of products have been launched to address these gaps in a very specific and tangible manner and show improved performance. This was primarily about steam and condensate loop, but there are so many things in the water loop also. Whether measurement of the flow, whether measurement of the parameters like TDS, pH, conductivity, turbidity, and so on and so forth, COD, BOD, when we are talking about the zero discharge and the monitoring of the effluent that is being discharged. So there have been a host of parameters that have been launched on the water loop also. And when the water as a utility in various forms, whether it's hot water, that's another product that we launched for a pharma industry in specific, was instantaneous hot water generation to reduce the steam losses while generating the hot water, and also ensuring ease of operation and maintenance for the operators, because water was required at different temperatures at different times of reaction. And therefore we needed a system which could modulate with the requirement in the process, and that's what gave birth to the instantaneous hot water systems that we launched at one point of time. So you have steam, you have water in various forms: heating water, cooling water, chilled water, processed water, utility water. And when all of these come together in the process and you are trying to achieve process parameters, I think it becomes very difficult to control the parameters in an efficient manner. And that's where the process and the process activity and the utilities come together. So one of our focus areas has been to integrate these utilities with the process requirements, because the utilities exist to achieve the process parameters. So one can look at optimizing the efficiency of the steam and condensate loop independent of the process. One can look at optimizing the water loop independent of the process. But the best benefit comes when you optimize it at the process level. So that's been our endeavor over these years. And I think MuPT is a product which brings us closer to that objective, where what is demanded by the process is being delivered by the utility. I will request Siddharth to take this conversation forward and tell you a little bit more about where the need for MuPT came about and how did we start working on it in an effective manner to reach the stage that we are in today. Sid, please.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you, Satya sir, for your valuable insights into a subject which has been my core domain for years together. So it's the pharmaceutical and the chemical industry. So we classify the industry into a very broad-based, in a very broad-based way, where there is pharmaceutical API, bulk drug, then there is a set of formulations, injectables, and then in chemical industry specifically, we have a lot of variations as well. So when we started looking at pharmaceutical and chemical together, we realized the need of actually taking detailed observations at customer level, understanding what the process flow diagrams for these industries are, working very closely with the operator. So I remember Satya sir always making a mention that you should always ask the operator, question him enough, see practical working cycles, maybe a reactor or maybe a multi-effect evaporator or the solvent recovery units, to actually come to the deep understanding of what is going wrong. And then when this journey started, it became very interesting because we were able to understand first what is happening in these industries, what is the pain point, and what is the typical steam consumption levels happening at these various sections. So our journey started by first focusing at the major energy guzzlers, which is the ME section, which has the stripper column and ME and ATFD, and the solvent recovery units. So our learning and understanding over there evolved solutions which actually delivered a steam consumption reduction, which also surprised us at times of 35% also. So this was what was the impact on these sections, which we were able to first demonstrate, document, and then we call it scaling up of providing these solutions so that it could reach every of our customers. During this journey, we evolved ourselves to providing solutions for the tray dryers, the drying sections, hot water solutions, which Satya sir mentioned. But one area which typically consumes around 20 to 40% of the steam at the best is the reactor section. So this section became an interesting thing to focus on. We took 2 steps back into what we were thinking we could provide for the multi-utility reactors, and we took a deep dive into the reactor section. So we had many iterations, many discussions with the customers actually, because we all know multi-utility process, as mentioned, has a lot of utilities, what is happening at the reactor level. So out of all this study, which happened across 130 customers, we came up with a conclusion that yes, there are issues. Operators do need specific attention, but productivity being the highest, and it always took a priority, other utilities and other parameters also take a setback. So typically what we found was, we found condensate evacuation issues at the reactor level. We found a mixing of utilities. So the cooling utilities used to get mixed with the condensate, typically draining the condensate to the cooling tower, thereby increasing the load, or sending the entire condensate to effluent treatment plant. And also then we found a deviation with respect to the time temperature profile, what was desired and what was actually happening, leading to productivity loss also, because typically we found that the startup times were higher. So all this thought, when we came back, as Naushad mentioned, during COVID, we put it together and we thought that what will be the best thing to do. So our R&D team working very jointly, like very closely with the entire steam system division, and all of us came together and we devised some protos, some concepts, which then evolved to us designing the multi-utility process trap. So that has been the journey of multi-utility process trap. My fellow colleague Bipul will speak more about it in the later section of the day. And that is how we are now excited that a lot of trials which are done at sites, a lot of results which now keep coming online to us, give us a lot of confidence that this is the right way ahead. So that is from my side. Thank you. Over to Sapna. Thanks.
Thank you, Satyadev. Thank you, Siddharth. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the launch of the MuPT, formal launch of the MuPT. To mark this milestone, I would like to invite Dr. Naushad Forbes, Satyadev Purohit, Datta Kulekar, Mr. Prem Bhagwat, Mehul Vaidya, Pradyumna, Vaibhav Pradhan, and Nandu. If you could please come up, and we'll do a little watering of a plant to mark the unveiling. So the significance being to celebrate new beginnings, growth, and sustainability. So please come up. Thank you. Siddharth. just a few minutes, just if you could just stand, he's taking a picture. Thank you so much. For a closer look at the MuPT, its technical features and the benefits that it offers, I invite Mr. Bipul Paul, Product Manager, Steam Systems, to take us through the presentation. Bipul? Just before the presentation, a small peek into the product.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for being here today. Thank you, Naushad sir, for enlightening us the necessity of our innovation. Thank you, Satya sir and Siddharth, for giving us a valuable insight for the evolution of this product. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all in this exciting occasion of launching of our new product, MuPT, multi-utility process trap, an ideal steam trapping solution for reactors in API and chemical industries. As Siddharth was mentioning about our journey when we conceptualize about this product, starting with understanding the pain areas of the customer, what are the challenges of the customers, and one of the key challenge for the customer was the process temperature gradient. Here you can see that the desired temperature gradient is 2 to 2.5 degree centigrade per minute, whereas it is achieving 1 degree per minute and resulting into almost 50% higher ramp up time. Taking further into the details or doing the analysis, we also identify that the wrong sizing or the selection of the process trap, which resulting into the water logging or sometimes resulting into opening the bypass valve to achieve the desired temperature gradient. As we know, the major cooling utilities for the reactors are cooling tower water, chilled water, and the brine solutions. And if there is any delay in the valve's operation during the changeover, or if there is any inline leakages in all these cooling utilities, then also if there is any non-adherence to the SOP, that all leads to the contamination of the condensate due to the earlier traces of the cooling utilities in the heat exchanger. When we have ascertained all these condensate values of the contaminated condensate, it ranges from 200 ppm to almost 1000 ppm. That is what is varying. That is what we have observed. Now, if we summarize all these challenges in the multi-utility reactors, that is all the inconsistency of process temperature due to the improper tapping, the higher batch time, or the steam consumption, or it may be draining of condensate to the cooling tower or the ETP, which is resulting into a lower condensate recovery factor. Moving on to our solution, which has evolved, understanding all these challenges, that is MuPT, which addresses the temperature gradient issues, which enables to achieve the desired temperature gradient, enables to achieve a higher condensate recovery factor, thereby also reducing the steam consumption to 2 to 3% and reducing the ramp up time, and finally reducing the ETP or the cooling tower load. Okay. Looking into this graph, which actually shows that how this MuPT during this operation, it diverted the condensate when it goes to the contamination. Or if you see here, it started with a trapping mode. When the TDS values crosses the set point, which is for this case, it was 250 ppm. When it crosses to the set point, it goes into the bypass mode irrespective of the temperature, which is 131 degree at the inlet of the trap, and it effectively diverts the contaminated condensate and then again come back to the trapping mode. Now, if I talk about the features of MuPT, it starts with one of the patented design or the technology, that is two orifice technology, which ensures to evacuate the condensate even if in a warm-up or a startup load to cater the condensate evacuation. It helps to get a desired process temperature at the desired gradient, as per the desired gradient. The TDS sensor, TDS or the combined temperature sensor and the three-way valve, which ensures the diversion of the contaminated condensate based on the conductivity measurement. The LED indication, local LED indication that indicates the health and the mode of steam trap operation. And finally, the digital connectivity for 24/7 online monitoring and sustaining of the critical parameters. When this prototype design came to us, we have done an extensive trials or the rigorous trials into all these API and chemical industries. And one of the result which you can see here is one of the customer here in southern India, where we have installed this MuPT in one of the reactor, that is 6.3 Kel reactors, where we could see the result of recovering greater than 80% of the condensate, even though there is a variation of TDS from 30 ppm to 600 ppm, and thereby also getting the reduction of fuel consumption by 42 tons per annum and monetary saving of 3.5 lakhs per annum. Similar result we can see here in another customers in Western India, chemical customers, where we have installed this MuPT in one of the reactor 10 Kel reactors, and we see the similar encouraging results of getting a benefit of higher condensate recovery factor more than 85%. So thank you all. and thanks for giving us a support during this journey. And we deeply appreciate for your support and your engagement. And let us ensure that we recover every drop of condensate from all these reactors in all these chemical and pharmaceutical industries. Thank you.
Thank you, Kapil. I would now like to invite Mr. Bhavik Patel of Coizon Life Sciences Limited to share his experience with the MuPT after its installation at their plant. Mr. Bhavik Patel, please.
So, good afternoon all. Thank you for invitation. I am working as a manager in Cohesion Life Science Industries and in Technical Services Department. So, how it starts for our MuPT taking from Forbes Marshall. So, we have typical 360 to 380 tons per day condensate steam generation in our industry. So, from that we have started 40 we are currently recovering 30 to 40% condensate recovery. So my manager told me that we have to recover 60% of the condensate. So I have personally taken this target to recover 60% of the condensate. So in one of our plant, that out of 360 TPD condensate or steam generation, one of the plant was consuming 70 to 80 TPD steam consumption. So in that plant, totally steam recovery was condensate recovery was 0. So in first phase, I have started recovering of pure condensate. So it's very easy. Pure condensate we have installed SOPTs, and with the help of that SOPT, we have out of 76 ton per day steam generation, we have around 30 TPD process condensate recovery we have done. Now looking to 40 TPD condensate recovery, I have talked with one of our customers, that Forbes Marshall, and again it is very difficult for the mixed condensate. What happens in mixed condensate? Mixed condensate में बहुत सारा utilities आता है, like cooling water contamination होता है, like brine. We are having brines in our reactors also. That brine is with contamination with methanol solvents. So once the solvent goes in boiler, it's very difficult for the boiler to operate. So sorry, we have started thinking how to recover this mixed condensates. So we have me and Mr. Mayur talk about that, how to recover this. So Mayur came up with some suggestions that they have launched of MuPT in few weeks. So we have started inquiry for that MuPT. MuPT mein, what was our challenges? First was that methanol. If condensate is mixing with methanol, that is very difficult. Another thought was it is mixing with cooling water. So it is also problematic for the boilers. So we have started in backtracking how to eliminate these things. So I have suggested that we should go for TDS that you are also supplied. But one of the major change was that we have given for the suggestion of timer based rejection system. So I think timer is, we have as a personally I have suggested that timer is good. Why? Because if we see first half of the lineup of the condensate, it is always a contamination. So first half an hour I have given thought that it should be, whether it is clean or contaminated, it should be rejected. And after the half an hour of the taking in line, it should be given to the boiler. So that was, I thought it was not currently in the system, but I have suggested that it should be in line. So again, your R&D team has given support that we will give that timer, and we'll provide that timer in the MuPT. So it is good. And now currently this project is under execution. So within few weeks, we'll be able to recover more condensate from the MuPTs. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. We now open the floor to question and answers, if any, from the customers. And can someone pass the mic, please?
For every change, our top management is asking for new products, and I'm really like that product, so I'm excited to use that. But only thing why my management will ask is what it will ROI we will get. Can you focus on that point, or cost saving point of view?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Interesting question, I should say. So this is a typical feedback which we have got from many customers to start with. So what we do is we first survey your entire block. We always, so there is a philosophy which Naushad sir always says, start small, establish the benefit and then spread it to the remaining equipments. So we pick those reactors where steaming is more. Typically there is, so we see that the product remains more or less constant for the entire campaign, which is 1 year, 2 years. So we'll pick those reactors which the steaming typically is more. And we have seen that the payback with this focus, so typically 50% or 40% of these reactors is where we focus, because other reactors typically operate on hot water or on other chilling utilities mixed with hot water. So we leave that out and we focus on the steam users. And typically we have seen that after installation, as Bipul had also spoken, we get a condensate recovery of, so I'll tell you the maximum and minimum. So we've got the best at 70% and on the lower side, and on the higher side 90-95% best. So the payback typically, even for a reactor of 4 KL, as an example, as a starting point, is around 12 to 15 months at the best. Oh, so it's very attractive. So if you give us an opportunity, we'll do that for you.
Yeah. So it is within my limit, because I'm from Macleod. I'm Sham Sarade. So my limit is 18 months set by my management. So it is well within my limit. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, excuse me. Is there any chance of malfunctioning that sensor? You have given the limit for 250 ppm. Yes. If that happens, it will, contaminate TDS. In that regard, what could be the precaution?
So just to look at two specific things I would say here. The first thing is to really look at how do you really calibrate the sensors. That's the first point. That's us. We are looking at it in terms of the practicality. These same sensors we were using are on auto blowdown systems. So it's a very robust, proven technology. And as Naushad was saying, we have been evolving our solutions around the robustness of performance, because the benefits come on the top of a product which delivers itself. So as far as the sensor is concerned, if you look at the operating manual, it just needs to be cleaned once in a while. So whenever you have a plant shutdown, it could be once in 6 months, you could just use the cloth to clean the sensor. That's as simple as that. We have actually 2 sensors in this device, and both of them are equally the same, so you don't have to really worry about that.
Just adding on to address your point, in case something goes wrong in the unit, there is a mode. So there are 4 modes. There is a trapping mode, which is showing that the work is doing fine. Then there is something called as the second mode is the bypass mode. So it is indicated by yellow light on the head. And if something goes wrong with the sensor, the bypass mode immediately takes care of your operating condition. So you first come to know that the bypass is happening, and second, you can take corrective action. On the second side, I'll just, there were a lot of field trials. Yeah, so it is basically fail safe because it'll then bypass all the contaminated and you can take corrective action. Yeah. So that is the insight into that. But on the other hand, one important point was what Weber sir was mentioning was of the usage of the boiler blowdown sensor itself in this. So we have had, I don't know, Nandu can tell, but I guess 40, 45, 50 months of, around 40 months of operation without a single failure. So that, and there are multiple units which are there on site. So it gives us a lot of confidence that the reliability of sensor is there. Your point is failures can happen. I'm not disagreeing to that, but there is an inbuilt mode to take care of that so that there is no strain of condensate going, contaminated condensate again going back to the boiler. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Harsh from Aarti Pharma Labs. One very good question that my industry colleague explained that you are using TDS meters to select. Now in pharma industry, using of brine is quite common, and the trials also that you have done, you have just installed it on cooling tower and chillers. You are yet to take trials on brine applications. So what would happen when solvents, methanol, basically methanol will come in one. And second,
and then the whole delay timer logic. So our trials also showed us that so for the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, there are chances of contamination. So that delay timer can be set on at site depending upon the quality of condensate which is coming. So that is the second functionality which is built into that, so that it takes care of all what you're trying to get, and even those results which we did on the earlier protos in a similar way showed us lower condensate recovery factor like of 70%, so 70% getting recovered. And again on the same reactors we found 85, 87% as the max. So it gave us a lot of confidence that the brine part also gets addressed in the correct way. And then one more question on the payback. All of that came together for around being less than 15 months. So that is there. Second question,
So the second point was the TDS set points. They are settable. So what we have learned is, that there are various set points which are decided by the geography. That's one time. The second thing is depending on what's the boiler usage. So how are you really using a cogen plant or not a cogen plant? So these TDS values are settable at site. And that's how we are taking that. That's where we are saying that, we will have to look at the power of observations. What is the actual critical parameter for the boiler feed water? Aligning our offering to suit the customer's expectations. So that's the journey which we'll take forward when you are really commissioning the multi-utility process trap.
And sir, again, my point on starting small and then, so we'll have 1 or 2 units which give you enough conviction and confidence that indeed what we speak will happen. And then that is maybe you can be a trial for you and then you can execute it. So that's how we work.
Yeah. Did you add a trial on chemical atmosphere? And also, I see the coils, and is it waterproof? Actually, the traps are on the bottom of the reactors.
So what we have done is we have taken trials actually at the customers' places, and few of you actually heard Cohesion speak about it. That's one point. The second thing is we are very clear that when we get into the X-proof atmosphere, so there are two challenges which we have to look at. One is the X-proof requires its own qualifications or compliances before the product is launched, and these are all IP rated. So these are IP65. We are very mindful about the fact that we have evolved a lot of our solutions in the area of process trapping. So we are well aware of what it takes to really deliver a steam trap and the installation guidelines which are required for a steam trap. And that's how we have evolved the product. In terms of the whole corrosive atmosphere, which is a very specific thing which we do look at when we look at the chemical industry. These products are actually with gray cast iron body. So, that's where the corrosion resistance is very high. So you actually get two benefits. One is to have a very high corrosion resistance at a reliably low cost kind of an option, and you don't really have to go to cast carbon steel bodies, given the pressure conditions are very less than 3.5 bar in most of the reactors.
Any more questions? Yes, Mr. Patel.
Whether this trap is provided with COD meter or COD meter?
This trap is only looking at total dissolved solids level and temperature, which are the two sensors which are actually installed in this. So it's, yeah, as Siddharth was saying, there is a condensate contamination detection system which we can really look at a block level. So you address the contamination at a reactor level, recover the condensate, check the condensate parameters before it is pumped back to the boiler. So you can then do a combination of both. So the pressure limits for this product is up to 8 bar is what we have done. These are IBR approved also, which are available.
So as a customer, my feedback is to focus on COD installation at the trap level, because when we are using methanol like brine, it is very difficult for the separation of the system. So
Sure. As we are saying, we will evolve the product in terms of what it actually then takes to really go forward in terms of the journey. As you are aware, with the steam operated pump trap, the SOPT which you mentioned, we ourselves have evolved the steam operated pump trap to become a 2 orifice design, to have various sizes which meet. So in the same way, we will look at the multi-utility process trap also to see what are the options which we will have to evolve to deepen our understanding of what the chemical industry would expect from us. Yeah. Yeah. So there is a temperature sensor which take care of the brine, because the temperature set points are much higher, whereas the methanol temperatures would be much lower, so it would automatically go into bypass mode. But we'll take specific inputs from you to see that the trials are successful at your plant.
Yeah. In the construction part, from here visibly I can see only 2 flanges. So you might be having 3 ports, is it?
So I'll just so if you can change the.
This is your bypass port.
So this is the yellow one is the bypass port.
So but there you do not have a flange. I'll have to couple it up. Because see, eventually that port also has to go to an ETP or somewhere.
Correct.
So piping over there would be so. why not taken 3 flanges where I can just flange the lines and it is a permanent connection?
So it's a good input. We can give you screwed on flange connection to really meet the expectations, but it's basically a water line, a cooling water line which will get out of this product, because that's where you will actually, this is the discharge port for the contaminated water to get out of the product. So that's how we had tried to keep it very simple.
For the condensate, you have given us a flange.
Yes.
And for dirty condensate, you are giving us a screw. So why that differentiation? Is there a particular idea behind it, or it is just to space availability or whatsoever?
So it's easy to also look at the construction of the product. You know, it's if you look at any flange construction, the geometry of the product makes the casting reliability also slightly a challenging factor. So one has to be mindful about what it takes to look at the functionality and at the same time the manufacturability of the product. Yes, we can adapt it to be a flanged end by just putting a pipe nickel with a flange on it. To be back here.
Any more questions? We can conclude. So we'll conclude this session. To conclude the session, I invite Mr. Prem Bhagwat, our National Sales Manager, to deliver the vote of thanks. Thereafter, we will proceed to the R&D Test Center for a live demo of the MuPT, followed by lunch. Also, for all those who wanted to visit our Chakan plant, after lunch, request you to please wait at the registration counter, and someone from the team will assist you all. Thank you. And thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Prem?
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to first thank our R&D and innovation team, because I think it's not only about R&D, but the kind of innovated product which we have launched, including this MuPT. And most of the customers, when we visit, I think the first question what our customers, or I would say the partners, will ask is what the new thing Forbes Marshall is doing. So I would really thank R&D team and innovation team to give us new things which we can talk to the customers and always then take it ahead. I would also like to thank all our partners who traveled over here from all the areas of, I would say, India, Hyderabad, Vizag, Vashi, Mumbai and Baroda. And not only you come, but the kind of inputs what you gave, and not only for MuPT, but in our day-to-day interaction, the kind of inputs you give for us to improve, I think it is very commendable. So thank you to all of you for joining for this event and our continuous partnership. I also thank the entire our division teams, and particularly SSD team within whose range this product is. So thanks to entire Steam System division and corporate communication team to organize such a wonderful event. I think after a long time we have seen such an event with many customers attending and lot of enthusiasm within the Forbes Marshall. So thank you to all of you, and thanks to all my colleagues and friends from division, from branches, all our engineers who are present over here to make it to this event. Thank you all. In the last, I would thank Dr. Forbes for his guidance and presence during this meeting, and entire our management team to grace this event. So thank you all. I invite all of you to take a round of our R&D center. We can interact more around some other products also, and then join us for lunch thereafter. Thank you all.
Request everybody to form two groups, please. So Sid, can you please lead them, Bipul and Javed? We just lead them into two groups.
So we'll be having two groups, roughly, I guess we are 30 of us. So maybe 15 each, or we can split it into two. So Javed, Bipul. So we'll quickly